We come back. We join up again. Me, you, the viewer and listener, defeated for the first time in 3 seasons. We lost the divisional round to the Braves, who went on to win the World Series. So at least we have that, I guess. And we're now going into the offseason. The last offseason that we're going to have, because last year's going to be our last season that we're going to do, that we're going to play through kind of extensively. So now let's do a little bit of a autopsy and see what went wrong and what went right. I think the first things first, I feel like the lineup was fine. For the first time ever, we were pretty highly ranked with home runs at 198 of them. Gorman had a good season. Jones only played, half. He had half the at-bats he could have had. You give him all of those that he's supposed to, he's going to hit, 35, 40 home runs. Kalenic somehow, despite having kind of a down year for him, eked out 26 home runs and 100 RBI. Jimenez had the career year. I feel like he was the only one in our lineup who really had the career year. 6 wins of WAR, led the league in triples. He followed a excellent playoffs in 2024 to continue raking in the regular season 2025. So I think the lineup is fine. And then if we look in if we just look at in our arbitration, who are we going to lose? We're only losing relievers. We're still going to have Rosarina around, which at this point, his defense took a little, I guess overall it's not bad. Just in left field, he's good. Nolan Jones is going to be around still. So we're not losing any of our lineup. And if we go into our, minor league system and check out the positions that we have, they're not really, none of them are really position players, at least at AAA. Let's see, Double A. Do we have any position players there? All right, Sal Stewart. He's a draft pick from a couple years ago. Looks like he's turning out okay. Who else do we have? Robert Paulson. Paulson is finally, potentially making it to the major leagues here. His hit power, the only thing that really developed is gap. His gap power. But I'd be interested to see how this plays the major league level. We don't have a head scout right now, so we got to figure that out. Okay, so yeah, our position player depth is kind of weak. Yikes. But I guess for one more year. Oh, I guess that's taking into consideration our minor league depth. Major league depth looks okay. Willem Diaz, 52nd overall prospect. Good defensively. Great on the base paths. Decent at bat. Nick Biddison looks like is ready for the major leagues now. Cody Hosey. Okay, so some of the players we're looking for down there in AAA are actually up here on a major league roster. Hosey's there. Kyle Stowers is here. So our depth, all things considered, is okay. And I guess really for the next year, it's fine. We'll see how it goes. And I don't want this to be a thing where I get done playing in 2026 and then the whole team goes to shit. I don't want that. I want this to be something that's sustained. So I'm not going to just, at the end of our Pirate series when it came to 2028, we were just making trades with every prospect to say, hey, let's get them out the door so we can get major league talent for this year. I am not going to do that. I'm going to still manage the future because I still want to be GM of this team because we have firing turned off, so we can be the GM forever, really. So the lineup, I think, is good. I'm not worried necessarily about the lineup unless someone is a free agent who just blows my mind. Pitching, the rotation is a different story. Our only really stud pitcher was not Mackenzie Gore. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, he was in the regular season. But he has just been so up and down throughout his career. Between you don't know how many strikeouts per nine you're getting from him on a per season basis. You don't know about the walks. Don't know about the home runs. And that even extends, at least when I play with him, into a per game situation. So that's been extremely frustrating. Bieber was super consistent. If he had played the whole season, I think he was on pace for like 6 WAR. I bet. We had covered that in an earlier episode. Josiah Gray. He is so funny to me because he can start. He had a career worst year last year. He has 4 potential dynamo pitches. Even if they don't all get to potential, they're still great pitches. All 4 can be considered great. And then you look at his ratings, and it's just so disappointing, I guess. The movement's so bad. And if you give up home runs, that will kill you giving up home runs. You can't pitch 7 innings if you're giving up 2-3 home runs a game. So I feel like is going to be slated for relief duties moving forward, or like spot start roles or something like that. Tanner Hauck still has, I think, a couple seasons of starting left in him, but his ratings are starting to get into a heavy split where he's going to be a specialist in a couple years. But I think maybe he has 1 or 2 more years left as a solid pitcher. So we have one solid thing, and we have 3 question marks so far. We can put Pepiot in. Similar stuff to. Oh, this is his ratings is a relief pitcher. Let's change him to a starter and see how these change. Set position to a starting pitcher. Okay, so his stuff drops just a tad. His rating drops just a tad. This is a similar profile to Josiah Gray, only not as great of control. So it's like, okay, he's a question mark in terms of pitching. His stamina isn't great. He's a fly ball pitcher, which I don't love. Jeff Belge, who I would love to see take the next step and pitch for us at the major league level. He has decent. It's just everyone's movement on this team is so low, and I don't understand why. I don't know if it was a change with coaches or what the story is there. I think Simeon Woods Richardson could be a starter. Let's move him to a starting pitcher, though, and see how his ratings change. Yeah, okay. Not great. I mean, he lost 5, rating points or 5 scouting, points in his stuff. But I think he could be in the starting rotation. Matt Dillard, I don't think he has the control, the movement. He has the control, but not the movement to be. He'll give up home runs. I think we need to go and find, let's see, Liberator. Is that an option? No, not really. I feel like we need to go find a ground ball option to balance this offseason, or to balance this staff a little bit. We have a lot of players with not great movement that can give up home runs, that are fly ball pitchers or neutral pitchers, and Bieber's our really only ace. So not that I don't like these guys that we have, Hauck, Gore, Pepiot, Belge. I just think over the course of the season, if that's your rotation, the maximum wins you're going to be able to get are like 95. And max. I would like another dominant ground baller, and because ground ballers help our defense, we have players who are pretty good defensively. Like if we look at Pache, his center field's back up to 70. Okay, great. If we look at Kalenic, I guess we should be looking at our infielders right now if we're talking about ground ball pitchers. Jimenez, 55, infield air, range 55, infield air 70. So that 55 isn't elite, but it's still good enough. And then you look at Vidal Brujan, And it's 55s across the board, too, for our defense. You look over at third base with Nolan Gorman, good enough. Austin the Aston Martin, ability, to limit errors at any position really in the infield. Willem Diaz is like a defensive replacement, which I think it's time. I would like to see him at the major league level. Because, look, he's crushing rookie ball. He's crushing single A. Should he probably make a stop at Triple A? He should probably start in Triple A or Double A this year. And then I'd love to see how this plays as like a defensive replacement on the major league squad. And then, let's see, first base, Nolan Jones, very good defensively. So I would just like to be able to take more advantage of that. Take more advantage of our defense ability in the infield, and the only way you can really do that is with ground ballers. And the other thing that I've noticed when we went to salary arbitration, we're losing 3 of our relief pitchers. Devin Williams is still injured, I believe. He had torn elbow ligament. We're probably not going to look to bring him back because of how he's still out 9 months. 9 months from November. That's in the middle of the summer. Dennis Santana's going to be gone. His ratings took a hit last year, and he didn't really have that great of a season to begin with. Ferguson, we will offer him the $18 million qualifying offer, which I hope he takes. It'd be a $4 million raise, and he's good enough to close for us. So we'll offer him that. So we're going to lose a little bit of talent, and that's even including last year when we lost talent in our bullpen. So, I mean, we're really looking at Clay-Say to take a step forward, Graterol, Caleb Ferguson. Outside of that, DeGus, maybe. But outside of Clay-Say, Graterol, and Ferguson, is there anyone in this bullpen that we trust, that we truly trust? And that's down from like 6 to 7 players that we had. Like Scooble, I would consider one, but he's out another 9 to like 11 months. There's just a lot of question marks in our bullpen, and I'd like to address those. Carlos De Los Santos is up. A lot of negative war there for him. It's hard to trust that. So, yeah, just a lot of question marks, I feel like. Diego Castillo, he did have a decent year for us, not as well as he played in the past. But his ratings against lefties look like they took a little bit of a hit. But he could be a decent specialist. So you could trust him in some situations. But maybe we make a couple deals that doesn't involve selling the farm to build our bullpen back up. Because if we don't make any moves in the offseason with our bullpen or our starting rotation, next year could be bad. We could hit as many home runs as we want, and it doesn't mean we're going to win anything. And I know everything I'm talking about is relevant here, I'm missing the word, but I know everything that we're talking about here what word am I missing? I'm missing the word. Relative. Wow, guys, I'm losing my mind. I've recorded too many of these in the last few days. Relative. Oh my God. Let me pause and take a sip of water of that. Holy crap, that's wild. I need to pull the head out of my ass. My head out of my ass, not the head out of my ass. I don't have a separate head in my ass. I need to pull my head out of my ass. Anyways, it's relative because we still finished pretty high in all these statistical categories, but not where I'd like it to be. I'd like that starter's ERA to be top 5, at least top 5. And I'd like that runs against to be top 3. Then that's how you know you have a World Series contending team, I think. So we're going to start our charge. We're going to look at some of the awards. We'll vote for some of that. We'll go through arbitration. But then I think around free agency filings, like the area between the end of November and the beginning of the year is going to be very busy for us because that's when we're going to make our deals. That's when our deals in trades, and then our deals as in free agency, and that's where we're really going to remake this team. So let's go ahead and just start with the off-season awards.